you could see in this film that Michael J. White was a fan and had seen a lot of blaxploitation movies. And I mean, even some really, really bad ones. There was a film called, what's it called? The Guy from Harlem, it's called. And it is absolutely bloody awful. It's about a private detective who gets hired to rescue this black girl who's been kidnapped. I don't know why I said black girl, because it was a blaxploitation movie. He's black, and it's a terrible film. The storyline is non-existent. The movie itself is just, it's like, what is going on? Why is this making me? What the hell? But there was a scene in Black Dynamite where he's putting the phone down, and it was direct. It's like, the moment I watched it, I was like, oh my god, Michael J. White has actually seen the Guy from Harlem. I am not the only person who has had to sit through that pile of nonsense. I love him. Right. You die. You die. You can die. He died. Yeah, you got him. Oi, now. Stop that. But yeah, Spawn is dated because of the, unfortunately, what I was getting to. Spawn is very dated by the CGI used in the film. It is awful from start to finish. I'm going to butcher his name, but Joe Pantoliano is probably the best thing about Spawn. Is his acting of the Violator is top notch. It's ridiculous. He's over the top. He's funny. He's fantastic. He steals that film from start to finish. As much as I love Michael J. White, as much as that man is a gorgeous hunk of man meat, Joe Pantoliano just steals that film. And Michael J. White's acting ability isn't exactly the best around. But anyway. Whoa, spiders, spiders, spiders. Go away, spiders. Die, little bitches. But Spawn's is still a good film. It's an enjoyable film. And I think it's a film that is due and deserves maybe a remake or a rebooting or whatever the word is these days. Because I like the movie for its action orientation, whereas the Spawn comics and the Spawn cartoon series is basically majoritively Spawn being a whiny bitch that he can't see his wife again. And that always irked me. So, whereas that they didn't do so much as that in the movie. It was far more story and action orientated. And I think Spawn deserves a better, maybe a better adaptation. With, I think they could do it really good justice with the graphics these days. What else did we watch? Spawn. Virtuosity. I'm not a huge Russell Crowe fan. In fact, I can't stand him. However, he is spectacular in Virtuosity as the Sid 3.6 or 6.7 or whichever it is. It's such a good film with Denzel Washington. And then we watched Man with the Iron Fist again. It's a horrible thing to say, but it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It really does. But another film with a fantastic performance by Russell Crowe, playing Jackknife, the Eli Roth and Azier film, not to be confused with the DC superhero TV show that is due out soon. The Man with the Iron Fist is such a good film. Very enjoyable. Tongue-in-cheek. I mean, you can tell the film is lovingly written and created by Eli Roth and Azier. I mean, I know the Wu-Tang Clan. You were massive, like, early Hong Kong action movies. you know, back in the Hand of Death, kind of the 70s era. I'm not too sure, don't know whether they were fans of the more of the 80s stuff, like the later Jackie Chan Police Story, Project A, and that kind of thing, because that's more of what I prefer. But I know they were massive fans of things like the 36 Chambers of Death kind of stuff. And they're good films, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy them. But, and you could see, I mean, Azier had a lot to do with That Man with the Iron Fist. And even though his acting skills as the main character aren't great, his... You prick. I'm getting sick and tired of literally not hearing their footsteps. Not a single plod of their fucking footsteps I'm not hearing. Yeah, Azier as the main character. Yeah. The guy playing Silver Lion is just fantastic, overacting throughout the film. But yeah, a very enjoyable film to watch. I did hear a rumor that when they made it, they made basically 2 movies. They made enough of the film to fill out 2 movies, but the studio weren't confident enough in it, so they edited it down to 1 hour and 40. Now, I would absolutely love to be able to watch the 3-hour version that they originally made. I would kill to watch it, in fact. I wish they brought out like a DVD with an extended cut on it. Which, I mean, nowadays you'd get that. You would get the shit out of that. I mean, I say that nowadays. The film was in 2013 or 2012 or whatever it was. So, it should get it. It deserves it. I want to see it. Because it's not going to get a sequel. No chance in hell, I don't think. Which is a dire, dire shame. And then we finished off the evening with the over-the-top and ever-spectacular Rikyo, the Chinese masterpiece of, I think, the Japanese manga, which is just so over-the-top and so ridiculous. It never gets old. You have to watch it for the scene where he cuts his arm off. He cuts his arm and he goes, ha 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 ha, your arm, you can't use your arm now because I've cut it so badly. And he just basically takes his veins out, ties them together, and he can fight again. You're like, yeah, did he just do that? He did just do that. I swear he just did that, yeah. Oh, it's a nightmare. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Don't like you. Never have liked you. Wrong bloody place. Oh, crying out loud. On the home stretch and I'm still screwing it. Ugh, this is a nightmare. The worst part is when you get down to the bottom. Yeah, motherfucker. Ooh, Kong. I want to watch that soon as well. Idiot. This way. I have not played it, and I have not bought it because I cannot afford it. But I have watched the playthrough. I watched a non-commentary bloke play through Resident Evil 7. Or as I like to call it, Resident Evil 1.5. Fuck off! Prick. Whoa. Delayed. I'm going to say this before I start. My views on VR is it's a fad. It's a waste of time because it doesn't work too well. When I got my phone upgraded, I got Samsung's VR free when they were doing that offer, and yeah, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong, it looks prick face. It looks very nice, but yeah, double prick face. But I think it's a fad. I think it's a pointless waste of time. It's something people go, oh, isn't this nice? And then will last a few days before people forget all about it. Because you have to wear this giant thing on your head. And it doesn't really work properly. And I don't know. I don't think it's the next big thing that is going to take over. Like 3D. Back in the 80s, 3D was a fad. And it didn't do too well. And they've now done 3D again, and it's still a fad. It's slowly on its way out because you have to use the glasses, and it doesn't work with some people. So I don't like it when game developers basically take a game series that I enjoy and chuck it into a current fad / rave prick that is going on currently in the world, and then ruins the game. Now, that being said, that's my thoughts on VR. And that being said, I'm not too sure that it does ruin Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 being the first-person view, I definitely dislike. On a personal note, I think if it was a third-person game, I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot more, and I'd probably want it more than I do. But as the first-person game, I'm not interested. I don't think it works. I don't think survival horror really... No, that's a wrong thing. I mean, I suppose, to get my thoughts across properly, I suppose Amnesia was a really good game. Amnesia, I think it was Descent into Darkness or whatever it was called. It was a really good game and was really thought out and well done, and it was very atmospheric, and it pulled you in. However, it gave birth to what I hate to refer to as YouTuber games. So games that are purely created for YouTubers to play, to allow their subscribers to watch them getting scared and scream along. And that's the vibe I get from Resident Evil 7. I don't get the fact that, you know, it's a proper game of its own. I get the vibe that we just made it to to cash in. I mean, let's face it, Capcom have known to love to cash in. They've never quite been the trendsetters. But watching the guy play it through, I thought maybe I'm wrong, because the game itself, because initially I thought all of that, and then I thought, oh well, it's purely somebody's made a game, Capcom will slap Resident Evil 7 on top of it, and to make a quick buck and move on. Because I think Capcom are getting pissed off with the Resident Evil game series, and people and quite what's the word I'm looking for? Well, all the shit they get off the fans of the Resident Evil series because of it, and because Resident Evil 5 was awful and Resident Evil 6 was awful. But watching the guy play it through, I think maybe I was wrong, because Resident Evil 7 was practically Resident Evil 1. Everything about the game felt Resident Evil 1-ish. It was very... What's the word I'm looking for? It was very... That's not going to stop and spawn, is it? Shit, there's another one over there. It was very... prick. Go away. Go away. Hitboxes. Fuck me. Yeah, it was very Resident Evil-esque. It was had the same feel, had the same drive to it, almost the same atmosphere, but not quite. There was the safe rooms, there was the cranks, there was the puzzles, there was everything in it was as if somebody went, I'm going to make Resident Evil into... I'm going to remake Resident Evil into a first-person kind of Amnesia, kind of Outlast kind of game. And they did it reasonably well from what I saw. But then it moves on to Bollocks. You fucking hitboxes, I tell you what. And then it moved on to... what was I saying? Lava? No, I wasn't. The game itself is supposed to be set 15 years or 14 years after Resident Evil 1. But the way the story the game's telling, the way it tells it, the fact that Redfield turns up at the end, even though it isn't explicitly stated that it's Chris Redfield, in an Umbrella helicopter, and Umbrella is defunct by 14 years after Resident Evil 1, so if it's after Resident Evil 5, Umbrella Corporation no longer exists, and all of their assets were bought out by TriStar. It's like, okay. It doesn't feel like it's a continuation of Resident Evil. You fucking strafing twat. They can't hit you anymore, but you fucking can't hit them either. It feels as if it's a Resident Evil remake. It feels as if it's Resident Evil 1, but happened in a different dimension. That's what the game feels like. So that's where the fuck is that noise coming from? I don't like it. Yeah, that's the feel I got from it. It's Resident Evil 1 in another dimension, and this, the mold is what, instead of it being the T-virus, it's the mold that destroys the world kind of thing. Bollocks. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I'll probably get it once it goes down in price. I'm thinking about a tenner. I'll buy it when it goes down to a tenner, I think. I watched Krillin Plays with the TFS, and because I thoroughly enjoy the Krillin Plays series. I'm not a huge fan, I will readily admit, I'm not a huge fan of Team Four Star. I don't actually watch their Dragon Ball Z TFS Dragon Ball Z series, whatever it's called. I don't. It's weird. I don't think I find them very funny, but I think the Krillin Plays series and the Vegeta Renegade for Life series are very funny. I mean, you can't get... I was laughing so hard at Vegeta Plays Dark Souls when he's running away from everything, and then he's running away from the rats, and they follow him, and he's like, "They're here!" And they kill him. That's absolutely hilarious. But so it's very strange, very, very strange. But I do enjoy the Krillin Plays series. I think what's his name? Nick Lannis is. I think he's probably not going to do them for very often because I think him doing the voice of Krillin kind of hurts his throat because every so often he just gags and coughs his guts out. So I think the voice of Krillin actually does hurt over a long period of time. So I can't see him doing more extended plays, which is a real pity because I do enjoy them. I watched Krillin Plays Soma, so I'll probably get Soma if I can find it for a reasonable price. It looks a good game. The only one I haven't watched yet is Krillin Plays Alien Isolation because I actually got the game to play and I never played it. I only started it and didn't go any further. So I didn't want to watch him play it because I wanted to play it, and I haven't played it. So, yeah. And then Shane says to me, he says, "Oh, just watch it. It's not as if it gives any spoilers away. There's practically nothing to the game." Fair enough. So I might watch it. You can piss off, Spider. So can you. Oh, fucking... Have they literally just got rid of their footsteps now? I mean, is that it? They just don't make footsteps anymore. This is what it must be, because that, I am not hearing their footsteps. Yeah. Right, I can test this out easy now. Slime! Dead slime. Alright, alright. Oh. Yep, they got rid of their footsteps. That's mean. Nerf the skeleton shots, but you can't increase their strafing and get rid of the footsteps on the creepers. That is a dick move. You watch a creeper go boom. Oop. My internet keeps dropping out for some reason. I actually recorded some of this. I got into about 20 minutes of it before on it last week, and my internet went bleh. It's been dropping out for half an hour to an hour every day or shit. Every day or shit. Just die. Gonna need some more food. Another bit of big news. Big news throughout the world since the last time I was on. America voted in Donald Trump as their president, and it's been hilarity ever since. What I don't understand is the outrage between America's voting system. America's voting system isn't the greatest. The electoral college system is weird and has been outdated now for a long time, but they've never done anything to change it. So now that suddenly there's a president that a lot of them don't want, suddenly now it's time to change it. Yeah, should have changed it before, shouldn't you? But I don't think America had a choice, had a good choice in that election. I think, in my personal view, what would have been better for America is if Bernie Sanders had got, instead of the cheaty Republican Party, Democrat, I can't remember which one's which, whichever one it is, if they hadn't cheated to make sure that Hillary Clinton had gotten a nomination, I think Bernie Sanders should have got, instead of Hillary Clinton, I think maybe he just stood a chance. America had no good choice in that election, unfortunately. No good choice at all. And now they've got Donald Trump. And so far, the one good thing about Donald Trump you can say from an outside view, because Britain has already fucked itself over by leaving the EU, and now we've got a very strong Conservative Party in. So, yeah, good luck to us with that. So we're not in a good place, but it's always fun, because every day now there's a headline or a story where Donald Trump is being even more insane than he was the day before. Absolutely hilarious. Maybe not for America. Like the one this morning was, Donald Trump is now banning news, not banning, is discluding. No, that's the wrong word. Excluding certain media outlets from taking part in closed-door news briefings, and that, unfortunately, that smells. That has the nasty whiff of censorship of the media, which you can't do there. Really can't do there. So hilarity ensues. From making up Swedish terrorist attacks to saying just straight out lies. Someone should really take the Twitter off of the president. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. People were saying, "Oh, Donald Trump shouldn't be allowed the nuclear to be able to press the nuclear weapon button. He shouldn't be allowed access to it." 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I say the American president should be allowed access to his Twitter account. It's very bad. Oh, motherfucker, I didn't look at you, you prick. Okay, I might have looked at you, but it was in a glancing glance of glancingness that you should immediately forgive. It was the scared, terrified glare of somebody who's just looked at a guy dressed all in a very large 6'4" guy dressed in a black hoodie with black clothes but carrying a baseball bat. The fleeting glance people give him when he gets onto a subway train at night. That's all it was. Yeah, stop spawning. Ooh, brother's home. Let's see. There. Outrun the spider. Outrun the spider. No, I'm in the spider web. Prick. Is that a glitch that when they get to a certain distance by you that they stop, what the fuck? They actually stop attacking you now. Or they're unable to attack you. Enable, unable, enable. Words I cannot do today. Right. Alright, the next one needs to go here. I need to take this away. There's a lava pit underneath. Because I MC edited the floor in, God knows what's underneath here. I should really take time and dig it out and fill it up, I think. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. No, use this. Why do arrows bounce off things now? Nope, can't hit that. Nope. You'll probably hear guitar noises in a moment. My brother has purchased himself a Gibson something, and he is enjoying playing it. So, fuck. Huh? Over there. Haha. Skeleton one. I see you. Oh, I definitely see you. Prick. Oh, motherfucker, I was just wasn't anywhere near him. It's like me playing Natty Zombie Army. I've never been overly good at Nazi Zombie Army, but re-downloaded it the other day to test it out because a mate of mine bought it. He said, "Oh, we can play it." I said, "Great, no problem. I'll reinstall it." Played it for a bit. Me sideways. I sucked bollocks. I mean, I was really, really bad at it. I couldn't hit shit, let alone Nazi zombies.